Hi, greetings from the co-op office at the Newark College of Engineering. I'm Mike Smullen, director of the undergraduate cooperative education program, and I'm really happy to present a. Hi, my name is Mike Smullen. I'm the director of the undergraduate cooperative education program at Newark College of Engineering at New Jersey Institute of Technology. I put together a presentation for students who are interested in finding the right co-op, and I'm happy to share that with you today. So today we're going to cover finding and obtaining the right co-op for you. This is a 3-month step-by-step guide for finding that co-op or an internship that fits right for you and for your employer. First, we're going to talk about defining your network. Your network is a group of people with whom you're ultimately going to share some benefit. At first, you're going to get some more benefit out of contact with people, and then ultimately you're going to end up giving more benefit both to the folks in your network and to new people that you meet. I like to say that your network starts with 3 F's: friends, family, and faculty. As part of our step by step process, I'm going to ask you to identify at least 2 friends, at least one member of your family, and at least one faculty member that you'd like to start networking with. Your network may not be directly connected to your future career choices. That's okay. They're people that you are comfortable connecting with just to talk and get some input, insight, and experience. And make sure to challenge your assumptions. People want to help you more than you think. Now, let's talk about identifying what you really want out of a co op or an internship. Many students send out as many applications as possible without necessarily thinking deeper about what it is they really want to do. Here are ways to identify what you actually want. Picture yourself a few years after graduation. Are you behind a desk? Are you working with a team or are you working by yourself? Are you behind a computer or are you in the field? Are you researching something or are you building something with your hands? Are you leading a team of colleagues or are you focused on your own tasks? Picture where you are and what you're doing as clearly as you can, and that's going to help you understand your comfort level. Now, find someone who's doing something you'd like to do. And here it's important to keep your mind open. The people you think of should be early or mid career, and you don't need to know them personally. In fact, you probably don't know them personally, but find someone that you admire, respect, or who is doing something that you find interesting. Look at that career path. What jobs or projects did they do before starting their career? Did they participate in an internship, a co op? Did they conduct research? Or was there other professional work, maybe even volunteer experience? Where and how fast did they move in their early career? What are some of the skills or certifications that they acquired along the way? Now, let's talk about the companies that come to mind when you think about your future career. Odds are good that if you think about what you want to do in the future, you might be starting by thinking, I want to work at this company. Maybe you heard about them in a commercial, maybe you heard about them from families and friends, but you might have something in mind. That's good. It doesn't matter if you think you can work there. Just pick the top companies that rise to your attention. Now let's make a list of similar companies. I want you to identify 2 small companies. Those are companies between 10 and 200 employees that are similar to the companies you thought about. Now I want you to identify 2 medium-sized companies between 200 and 500 employees that are similar. Now identify 2 large companies that are similar to the companies you thought about. And those are companies with more than 500 employees. Write down that list of companies. Now we're going to look early in your career to identify this ideal role that should include aspects of each of these elements. It's something you like doing, It's something you're good at doing, and it's something that challenges you to do something new. The best experience you can have is an experience that does at least one of these things. It's important to note that very often you might like doing something. That doesn't mean it's what you're good at doing. Sometimes what you're very good at doing isn't what you're interested in pursuing. That's okay. But ideally, everything is going to challenge you to learn something new or to expand something that you might already know a little bit about, but want to learn more. Now we're going to talk about finding the right type of position for you. Using the list of companies that you previously identified, search those companies for current or previous internships or co ops that they posted. Now, not all companies post positions on Indeed or LinkedIn, so make sure to search Google as well. The reason we boiled down that list of companies is to make sure that this is not a Herculean task for you to follow. Create a list of those positions, whether they are currently open or if they were open previously, that are of interest to you. Take a look at each one of those positions that you find and identify common keywords, requirements, departments, or specialties that arise out of those position descriptions. Identify at least 20 or 30 of those keywords, requirements, or other details that are relevant to you. Now, without limiting to just one company, search for any open internship or co op using Handshake, LinkedIn, or Google and include the keywords and the job titles that you identified. Create a list of companies that surface from that search. Now merge that list of companies with the list of companies you created before. Now we're getting somewhere. Review that list of positions and remove any positions that don't challenge you to do something new or dovetail with something you like or support something you're already good at. You should be left with between 5 and 10 positions. Now it's time to activate your network. You know the companies that you are interested in. You have some positions that you have found of interest. The next step is finding ways to get noticed and finding people who know more about the company and those positions. Using LinkedIn, search for alumni who work at those companies. Email your first network, friends, family, and faculty, to see if they know anyone at those companies. Narrow down the list of people to the top 3 or 4 companies with which you've identified some connection. Now, ask your network to introduce you to the people they've identified. This is called a warm contact. Or if you're going to reach out to someone you don't know, you're going to write a 2 to 3 sentence email with the following: introduction, my name is Mike, I'm a blank major, I'm at this college. Context, I'm looking for opportunities in this particular field. Ask, I wanted to see if you had a few minutes to speak with me about the company and some of the work you've done there, and maybe what it's like to work there. Even if not, thank you so much for reading this. I appreciate your time. I understand you're busy. It's okay if I don't hear back. But if you do want to reply, here's my email, my mobile, or my LinkedIn account. Now, here's what you don't say. You are not going to ask for a job. You are not looking for contacts to get you a job. You're not looking for a mentor. Networking may lead to those things, but you don't start networking by asking for a job or contacts for a job or a mentor outright. Now we'll talk about what that conversation would look like. Ideally, a conversation is going to take place by phone or video call. It should last for no more than 10 or 15 minutes. It should focus on your ask and then listening to the response. And it should become a conversation, not just a discussion of your job. So before the conversation starts, you want to schedule your follow up contacts. And here you want to follow the 222 rule. If you know you're going to be speaking with someone on Tuesday at 10 a.m., within 2 hours following that meeting, you want to send a thank you with a desire to stay in touch. Within the following 2 weeks, schedule another date where you say thanks again and here's what I did because of the conversation. And then within 2 months, schedule it again. Thanks again. Here's what I did. Here's our next touch point. Those are reminders for you to follow up immediately after a conversation. Now, during the conversation, you're going to introduce yourself. Hi, I'm a blank major and I'm interested in this field. The ask is, could you share what it's like to work at? Then you're going to listen. Some people in your network might want to know more about what you're asking or more about you. The important thing for you here is to answer whatever questions they have in detail, but to make more time to listen to what they say. Now be mindful of time. Most people are busy. Conversation should never go longer than 10 or 15 minutes unless the person you're speaking with wants to talk longer, and unless you have the time to do so yourself. Express your gratitude. Make sure to tell them that you appreciate them speaking with you and that they've taken the time to do something out of their busy day. Even if it wasn't helpful, but especially if it was, tell them how much you appreciate it. And at the conclusion of your conversation, never forget to say you want to stay in touch. After your conversation, follow that 222 rule. Send your thank you message. Within 2 weeks, send your other message, including some tangible actions you took because of the conversation. That can be as simple as telling them that you viewed a careers page they recommended, or reaching out to someone they put you in contact with, or maybe even that you interviewed for a job which you got because you spoke with them. Within 2 months, make sure to send that final thank you. Tell them that you made some choices after the conversation. I applied to a job, or I didn't apply to a job because I wanted to focus elsewhere. Have you used some things they suggested in a class or a job application? And then make sure to ask them if they'd be interested in connecting again. Now we're going to talk about applying for positions. Your resume has to be outstanding. And there are several elements that are going to help it become outstanding. First and most importantly, always leverage NJIT's Career Service Office to ensure that your resume is well written and that it represents your full experience and knowledge. On this slide, you can see the resumes and cover letters section of the NJIT Career Services website. You'll notice that they have a series of links and guides that will help you draft your resume. And you can also set up your own appointment with your career counselor to seek additional assistance. There's also an artificial intelligence tool accessible by NJIT students called njit.hiration.com, which lets you draft, review, and complete your resume 24 hours a day with AI support. Now, very important when you make your application is to take a look at the job that you're applying for and to ensure that any keywords, which we identified previously, that are listed on that application page are also included in your resume. This is very important because most companies now have technology that does a first scan of your resume. And if they don't find enough relevant information, you may not even be considered. If you took a class with a name that contains the relevant keyword, make sure to mention that as well. Anything that gets that keyword mentioned that is true and honest should be included on your resume. Ensure that all of your relevant skills, including academic or personal projects, are included. I have many employers tell me that they would love to hire someone who has landscaping experience for civil engineering positions. The point being, those students know how to get their hands dirty and know the value of hard work. If you've done something, anything that's relevant to that job, list it on your resume. And finally, ensure that your resume is at most 2, but preferably 1 page. As a student, your resume should not yet be that. Let's talk about cover letters. Cover letters are still important for your applications. Generally, cover letters should have one paragraph or an introduction and an expression of interest, one paragraph demonstrating the relevancy of your skills to the position, one paragraph indicating your interest in the company and its overall mission, and one concluding paragraph. You can combine and mix and match those elements as needed, and make sure that your cover letter includes all of them. Since that can be a bit overwhelming depending on the number of jobs you apply to, make sure to use AI tools to draft and review your cover letter. Here's an example of steps to follow. Copy the job description and paste it in your AI tool. Tell it to remember the text. Copy your cover letter template and paste that in your AI tool. Tell it to remember the text. Copy the relevant sections of your resume, but exclude any personal information, since AI tools tend to be public in nature, and paste it in that AI tool. Tell it to remember that text. Now tell the AI tool to draft a new cover letter based on your template, utilizing that information. When it produces something, review and personalize the new letter. Never send something that has been generated only through AI. Make sure to conduct a spelling and grammar check as well. Ways to apply for positions are very important. Now, we've already created a list of positions based on your previous search. Take a look at those positions and find ones that are currently open and available to you. Visit the career pages for the companies list that we previously identified and find available positions at those companies. Search LinkedIn, Handshake, and Google for any open positions using the keyword list that you created before. And finally, compile one list with links to all of these jobs and start applying. Now let's talk about getting noticed. The first round of your applications are quite often the toughest. Getting past digital scraping tools and making sure that you, above and beyond all the other applications, are noticed. Here are ways to get noticed. Try to identify the department head for that particular position. Try to identify the person who actually posted the position, usually a recruiter or a member of human resources. Identify mid and senior level executives that might be at the company or in that division. Now send a note to that list of people above, indicating your application and your sincere interest in being considered. This is an above and beyond step that you can take to differentiate yourself from other applicants. Now, send a separate note to former interns or co-ops at the company who previously participated in a role like this. You can do that by searching LinkedIn to see who's done so. Let them know that you value their thoughts and especially their recommendations if they're willing to offer it. That definitely helps you get noticed, since former interns and co-ops are some of the best resources to recommend new students for those positions. Finally, keep it up. Students who get the co-op they really want apply to at least 30 positions on average. It's okay to be discouraged. You're going to get a lot of denials. Everyone does. But it is not okay to stop applying because you're discouraged. Instead, you want to take a look at this as a project. Find the areas for improvement in your resume or cover letter. Make sure you set dates and times and hold yourself accountable for the number of applications and the quality of the applications you send out. When you start thinking of it that way, that discouragement is going to start to decrease because you will see this as just another step in your professional journey. And that is how to find the co-op or the internship that you really want. Finally, I want to remind you that all of the staff here at NJIT and Career Services and the Newark College of Engineering, all the faculty, and all the leadership are here to support you in your journey, and especially me, Mike Smullen, Co-op Director. You'll see this in email, you'll see it on social media, but please always feel free to reach out to me. And remember, I'm the hat guy. So anytime you see me around campus, feel free to stop by. Thanks so much. Have a great day and good luck with your co op search.